welcome to the 2019 Hyundai Veloster Turbo. This is the second generation model of the Veloster. The original one showed up about 5-6 years ago, and it had a lot of potential, but it never really realized it. It looked sporty, but my first drive in a Veloster, which was in a non-turbo model, I was left feeling very underwhelmed by that vehicle. It just looked so much faster than it was. So when they made the announcement that the following year they were going to come out with a Veloster Turbo, again it's like, aha, finally Hyundai will give the Veloster the powertrain that it deserves. But sadly that wasn't the case, because even though it had the power, it still didn't handle very well. It had a lot of turbo lag, and it just wasn't that exciting to drive. So have they fixed that with this second generation model? Well, let's find out. Still has some turbo lag, but it spools up faster than before. At least it feels that way. On paper, power hasn't really changed, because this 1.6 liter turbo 4-cylinder motor still produces 201 horsepower and 195 pounds-feet of torque, which is decent. It's not over the top, but we have to remember Hyundai is going to give us a Veloster N model later this year, which will have a lot more performance. So hopefully that will be the Veloster we always dreamed of. For now, this, just the turbo, you know what, as a daily driver, it's pretty good. I also think it looks better than the original. The original had some quirky details which were interesting, but now it just looks prettier. Especially look at those tail lights. They look like they've been lifted off some Lamborghini, which isn't a bad thing. It also still has that asymmetrical styling, so you have two doors on the passenger side, one big door on the driver's side. You still have a hatch which can carry quite a bit of stuff. So there is no other vehicle like the Veloster in the market, and that's something it has always enjoyed, and I think that has kept it in the marketplace. And I give kudos to Hyundai for doing that. I'm glad they didn't give up on this model. Time to see its handling. Typical front-wheel drive, there is quite a bit of plow, but the steering is actually pretty good. Yeah, the front end could be tighter. In fact, the whole platform could be a bit stiffer. Maybe we'll get that with the Veloster N. So while it currently might not be the greatest handling car on the market, it's still plenty pleasing. Speaking of pleasing, I'm really impressed with the interior. It is so much nicer than it used to be. I love the seats with its dash of red. I like the new infotainment system. I like the heads-up display. I always like heads-up displays. A lot of vehicles don't offer them. This does. And it's a very cute and clever little system. A screen pops up. If you don't want to look at it, you can press a button, it goes down. So it's there when you need it. When you hit the sport button in this car, the information on the heads-up screen changes. I like that. It just adds to the character of this car. I also like how Hyundai packages their vehicles, because the kind of options you can get on a Hyundai, you just can't get on too many other vehicles. So even though this is a compact coupe, you get heated seats, you get a heated steering wheel. So that's luxury car features. So I quite like that. Things I don't like, well, while it's fine cruising at highway speeds, doing 100-ish, the engine doesn't feel like it's very free revving. It feels a little bit stressed. There is a lot more power for it to give. It can go a lot faster, but some vehicles that, their engines just feel very relaxed at highway speeds. This one isn't. Also, the car itself isn't very well insulated, so there is a lot of road noise. So it's not exactly the kind of car you want to drive the length of Canada in. Let's put it that way. You don't want to go across Canada in this thing, even though you can, but I'd rather pick something else. For daily runabouts, yeah, it's perfectly fine. The ride is good. It's even fairly fuel economical. Like, I've covered about 200 kilometers in this vehicle so far, mix of city and highway driving, and I'm averaging 7.2 liters per 100k. So for a turbocharged coupe, which is currently running on winter tires, your fuel economy does suffer a little bit. So yeah, it's very economical. It's not that expensive to buy either, because the base Veloster is yours for just under 21,000, and fully loaded tech package with a manual gearbox is under 30,000, but with a dual clutch automatic is just over $30,000, which, let's face it, is not a whole lot of money nowadays. And you get a lot of features in this car. You even have a big panoramic sunroof, which actually opens. Make note, Audi. So yeah, they've done a very good job with this package. It looks good, drives well. What more can you ask for? I'd happily live with one on a daily basis. So, is it worthy of automotive affairs? Yes, I think it does. It deserves to be on this channel. It's not your boring, typical beige sedan crossover SUV. It's a car most manufacturers would look at and say, it doesn't make sense. It won't turn a huge profit. So kudos to Hyundai for having the guts to bring a model like this to the market. I really like it.